What is up, fantasy fans? As always, I'm Shay from the channel Zachary Shay, and today I'm bringing you a book review for a book that I think has not received the love it deserves. I've really heard no one on BookTube talk about it. This author is known for his comic book work, which I think he is one of the greatest to ever do it, but I actually think his prose is substantially better than his comic book work, which, as I've said, he's one of my favorite comic creators of all time. And this is in my top 3 standalone novels that I've ever read, at least as they stand right now. Don't quote me on that. That may be subject to change if I sit down and think about it. But as things stand, Jerusalem by Alan Moore is one of the greatest novels I've ever read. The child had woken before she could ask whether this meant that pigeons were all human ghosts, forms that dead people had gone into and become, or whether they somehow existed simultaneously in heaven, where dead people go, and up amongst the rafters of the derelict barn in the neighbor's yard at the same time. Places don't stay where you left them. You go back there, anywhere, and even if it looks exactly how it did before, it's somewhere else. Each day and every deed's eternal, little boy. Live them in such a way that you can bear to live with them eternally. What is this massive, massive tome of a book about? So you have the Prelude, you have Book 1, The Burrows, Book 2, Mansoul, and Book 3, Vernal's Inquest. So Book 1, we follow a lot of different viewpoints. There's even a chapter from the point of view of Charlie Chaplin. There's a chapter from the point of view of a hooker. There's a chapter from the point of view of several different members of the Warren Vernal family. A lot of the members of this family have had interactions with different angelic, eldritch type beings that have left them crazy, or as people refer to it in the book, going around the bend, meaning that they are losing their minds. And we follow primarily the main characters are Michael and Alma Warren. Alma is this very eccentric, brilliant type character. She is very peculiar, very intelligent, kind of apathetical to a lot of different people in her life. And Michael Warren is a lot more average, but he had some crazy experience earlier in life that gets alluded to a lot throughout this first book. Now, if you don't want the pitch for the rest of the book, I'm going to tell you this. It's something that is shared before you even get to book 2 within this book. It's something that is talked about a lot, but if you want absolutely no spoilers, I would click off now. In book 2 of Mansoul, Michael Warren chokes on a cough drop for like 20 chapters, and that's the whole book 2. So this whole journey that's like the middle of this book, like from here to here, I'm just eyeballing it, but takes place in the time it takes for this kid to cough up a cough drop. And in that time, he journeys into Mansoul. He interacts with what is called the Dead Kids Gang. He meets the devil. He goes on all these different wacky, zany adventures within Mansoul. And some of these are from Michael's point of view. Some of these are from the different points of views of the Dead Kids Gang. And not all of them died as children. Some of them lived lives, long lives. It's very interesting seeing how some of them perished, what their life was like, who they were before they were members of the Dead Kids Gang. And they're trying to get Michael home because that cough drop is coming up, and he came down to Mansoul by accident. He wasn't supposed to go to the underworld. So they try to get him back. And then book 3 deals with the fallout of this, because when he emerges from Mansoul, he tells Alma about all his different adventures into the underworld. And book 3 mainly follows Vernal's Inquest, follows Alma as she is doing this art exhibit. And oh man, if you know the lore behind the Burrows, it's going to pack even more of a punch. But even without any of that knowledge, if you've never read an Alan Moore work at all, I still think that this book is an amazing journey. There's some of it, like there's one chapter that is written very much in the style of James Joyce's Finnegan's Wake. And while I do enjoy Finnegan's Wake than a lot of people probably do, I still understood about 10% of it. Same for this chapter that is very much styled in the way of Finnegan's Wake. I understood about 10% of it. You know, there's a lot in here that I really wish I had more time to reread and unpack. But even if you're just going as it comes and you're reading it, and you're just powering through the pages, you're still going to get a lot out of this. You don't have to deep dive every chapter, though I think there's enough here to where you can. Alan Moore devoted years of his life to this, and I haven't read his Long London Quintet yet, but I would go out on a whim to say that this will be his magnum opus, more so than Watchmen, more so than Swamp Thing, which I love, more so than Miracle Man, which I also love. But I think that this book will, at least may not in the public zeitgeist go down as one of the greats, but I think for those who have read it, this will probably stay as Alan Moore's magnum opus. It is a masterpiece. It is brilliant. It is one of those books that when you set it down, you feel like you are not the same person who picked it up. Yeah, I adore this book. I wish more people would give it a go. I know it's a big ask. It's a massive book, a massive audio book. But you can always read it in sections. I think the 3 different books within here, the Burroughs, Mansell, and Vernal's Inquest, can be split up as a sort of trilogy. So if you look at it as an omnibus of a trilogy omnibus, it's not that crazy. 1,200 pages, so each book's only 400 pages. That's not bad at all. That's my girl math for it. It is a massive book and a massive undertaking, but I think it is well worth it. And definitely one of my favorite standalones I've ever read. Very thought-provoking, very powerful, emotionally resonant. I wish more people would give Alan Moore the time of day. I know I don't really want to speak on this too much, but I know that there were a lot of Neil Gaiman fans that were mortified by the news. There's a lot of Susanna Clarke fans that have read Piranesi, Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, and The Ladies of Grace Adieu, and are looking like, what else can I read? If you like the works of those 2 authors, I implore you to check out the works of Alan Moore. Alan Moore inspired Neil, who inspired Susanna Clarke. A lot of his writing, granted, a lot of it was done in comics, went on to inspire these 2 authors. And I think you definitely, if you like either of those authors, even a little bit, I highly encourage you to check out Alan Moore. And there's no guilt to it like there would be for Neil. Yeah, I think this book is awesome. Thanks, guys. Peace.